Warning, this is not a podcast. This is not a podcast. I just wanted to check in and say hello. We are getting perilously close now to opening night. Well, that's not true. We are next week we go into technical rehearsals for Beyond the Fence, which means that we stop doing the putting together of the theatre piece and we start in terms of sort of creating the scenes and creating how everything moves on the stage. And what we do is we go to the theatre where the set would have been built and we meet the scene changes and the lights and all the costume changes and all the rest of it and the stuff that makes up the technical aspect of the show. So, things are getting near the wire. Ben and I have been doing sort of all-nighters every night. The other night we were still working at our computers, doing rewrites and rescoring and formatting parts and orchestrating stuff until about 3 o'clock in the morning, which was completely crazy. And we looked at each other and said, "Oh, it's time to go to bed." Which we then did, had 4 hours sleep, got up the next day for a 12-hour day, which finished with the second of our band calls, which is where the musicians meet the score for the first time, and they sound amazing. We've got 6 people in the band, and it's going to sound really fantastic. So why am I here today? Well, the reason I'm here, you can see around me the detritus of a rehearsal room. This is where Ali, who's our wardrobe mistress, she set up her shop and she's doing bits and pieces of sewing stuff. There's little bits of costumes here on the rail behind me just there. That's for the moment when our ladies dance on the silos dressed as pagans. It's a fantastic sort of spirited, visceral dance that they do up on there at the end of Act 1. I did want to share one thing with you because there is some knitting content to this mini cast that I'm doing here. A little change of scenery there because it's difficult to find somewhere in this building where people aren't working all the time putting together our show. And so why am I here today? Why am I talking to you? It's because I do have a little bit of knitting content to share with you, and I didn't want to wait until my next podcast. There's a very good reason for that. I've been knitting a pair of socks, as I tend to, and I was doing it in the back of the rehearsal room once, and one of the stage managers came over to me and she said, can I take a photograph of that sock? I was like, yes, why? She sent a photograph of the sock to the show's designer, the set designer and costume designer, Tom, who's done an amazing job of creating Green Gate at Greenham Common on stage at the Arts Theatre. It's looking fantastic. He really has done us very, very proud. He loved the sock. She came back and she said, Tom loves the sock. I went, yes. She said, you know what's coming next, don't you? I went, yes. We have a scene in the show which is Christmas morning where Mary, our leading character, is filling a little stocking for her daughter George, and they're very poor, they don't have any money. She's using one of her own socks as a stocking. My hand-knitted sock fitted the bill perfectly. So, I just wanted to share with you what I've been doing. Here is the pair of socks, which is not only now, here they are, stripy socks, you may have seen them on Instagram, with some stray bits of yarn. Sorry, I'm doing this one-handed because I'm holding my camera at the same time. So this is the sock here. It's made with Sirdar Heart and Soul. Very, very cheap old nasty piece of, it's not nasty at all actually. It was really kind of fun. The colours are great. I really love them. They're great fun. And it's getting busy here, so I'll see you in a moment. So these socks get to be quite famous. Not only have I co-written the book, the music and the lyrics to the show, I've also knitted some of the props. I'm really excited by these socks. I'm desperately trying to perfect my recipe for toe-up socks using a heel flap and turn. As you can see here, it's got a standard slip-stitch heel with a proper heel-turned cup there. It's hard to get because I'm holding the phone as well as all the socks. So these, I started with the Julia Becker's Magic Cast on here, did some toe increases, worked my way along, did some gusset increases, and then got to the point where I turned the heel. Now I've used German short rows to turn this heel, and so it's not a short row heel, but it has German short rows in it, and this is something I'm trying to perfect. So I'm trying to get a recipe together and perfect it so that I know I can, hearing lots of people warming up at the moment, everyone's getting ready for a run-through of the show that we're doing in about 10 minutes time. This is going to be one of our final run-throughs before we meet the band and the cast all come together tomorrow, which is going to be really exciting. It's a rehearsal tomorrow called the Sitzprobe, which means sitting down rehearsal. It's basically where the cast get a chance to hear the music for the first time with the band. So I'm trying to perfect the recipe for this, and I'm trying to knit as many toe-up socks as I can. That's the point. I'm going to call this really, really short now because there's people all the way around. As you can hear, it's getting very exciting, the tension is mounting, and I cannot wait to sit back and watch the show happen in the room as a full run this afternoon. We've got some important people coming from Sky and from the production offices coming to see it, so they're not going to be seeing these props fully involved in it yet, but you can tell there's quite a lot of bustle. So I'm going to sign off now. I wanted to show you more about these socks and tell you more about it, but I'm not going to do that here. I'll maybe save that for another time, but at least you've seen them. And I wanted to do this because I have to now give them to the stage management team so they can put them into the props department and make sure that everything is working well for when we get to the theatre next week. Fingers crossed. Wish me luck, wish me sleep, wish me calm, all of which I'm running out of at the moment. Ben and I are working on empty. It's really, really exciting, but it is terribly, terribly hard. So wish me luck, and I'll see you out the other side for another podcast. Oh, before I go, just let you know, I'm going to be going to the Edinburgh Yarn Festival in March. I'm going to be there for the Saturday, which is the 19th, I believe, and I'm going to be there in the Podcasters Lounge. Louise, who's putting the Podcasters Lounge together, is doing some meet and greets with podcasters. So I don't know who else is going podcaster-wise, but I'm hoping there'll be some people there that I've got to know through the medium of podcasting, but not actually met yet. It's going to be really exciting, and to meet lots of viewers as well, which should be brilliant. But what I'm really looking forward to is I've got 2 sessions on the Saturday. Timings to be confirmed, but I'll post on my group. Of where I'm going to be sitting at the table in the Podcasters Lounge, doing basically a double knitting drop-in clinic. So if you've got any problems with double knitting, you need some fixes, or if you want some tips and tricks or anything like that, if you want any questions answered about it, if it's some kind of sorcery that you don't understand, allow me to demystify it, and I'll be doing some demonstrations of some unusual techniques, and I'll have a whole host of double knitted items for people to see in the flesh. So that should be really, really fun. If you're going to Edinburgh Yarn Festival, I will see you there. If not, I'll be back podcasting as soon as this crazy adventure is over. Wish me luck, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.